The show you're tuned into right now was put together by students and staff enrolled in the broadcasting courses in the radio television department at San Joaquin Delta College. Thanks for listening and supporting college radio.
The candy-colored clown they call the Sandman tiptoes to my room every night, just to screw the stars and to whisper, go to sleep, everything is alright.
Dreams involving dangerous and threatening situations are very common.
KWDC 93.5 Stockton presents Unknown Space Radio.
We dream to fulfill our wishes. We dream to remember. We dream to forget. We dream to keep our brains working. We dream to heal.
Unknown Space Radio.
We dream to heal.
Hello, welcome back to Unknown Space. Today, we're talking about dreams and the whole phenomenon of them. First off, this is a conversation my co-host, Alex and I have had before, how dreams can be really cruel. Do you know what I'm getting at? So, we have this idea that a good dream is just as cruel as a bad dream. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah. Either way, you're waking up to some sort of like altered state of mind because of that like different reality you were in.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think a good dream is just as cruel as a bad dream.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even more cruel, because I don't know, I find like nightmares are kind of somewhat more interesting to me. I mean, I like having good dreams, but if I wake up from a really bad nightmare, it's kind of better for me, just because I like dissecting nightmares more.
Yeah.
Like a good dream is just, I don't know, feels good, but it's not real, I guess. I think nightmares just kind of give more insight to us as beings, our fears and such.
Yeah. I feel like with nightmares, I feel like I'd rather have a nightmare than a good dream, because it feels like with nightmares, it's just kind of, you're spooked for a little while.
Yeah.
You're kind of just always like, I guess, on edge, or at least whenever I have like a bad dream, I'm always like kind of anxious because I'm just still trying to recover, because you know it freaks you out, and it freaks you out pretty bad. But I think it's more fear that's easier to get over than I would say a good dream, where there's like relative happiness or some kind of change in your life. Because like I've had dreams where it's like I thought I did something, or I thought something had happened in real life, because that's something I'll come back to later. But basically, like I was saying, something has happened and I thought it was real, but it wasn't when I woke up, and it was something that was entirely different, or something that I had been meaning to do, or I wanted to happen, and it wasn't. Like you were saying about your friend that had like a dream about this girl that he met or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I had a dream actually a couple weeks ago, or it might have been last week actually. Remember when I came in, I was like, dude, I had a weird dream. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Okay.
I had like this dream about like I met this girl that was like the one.
Yeah.
And like I actually felt happy in this dream, and it was like almost like a feeling that I forgot.
Was it just a punch in the gut to wake up?
Yeah.
I feel that. I've had that several times. And there's been, I don't know, man, cruel dreams, they kind of die old. Because when I wake up from a really good dream, I'll carry that through the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And it like, I don't know, I'm not going to say it haunts me, because it's like, it's a good feeling, but at the same time, it's kind of harsh, because, yeah, that's not the reality I'm living in. That's not to like trash my entire life. But I mean, the reality that I'm waking up from, they're really cool.
Yeah.
Like, not that I'm not trashing my life. I don't know. I suppose I enjoy my life.
But typically our dreams like feel better
Yeah.
than our real life because it's usually something that
Dreams-
we want or something that we're missing, I guess. I don't know if that's the same thing.
No, I get it. They got no rules either.
Yeah.
So it's like you're doing what you want to do whenever you want to do it.
I feel like I can remember I can remember a good dream a lot longer and more vividly than I can a nightmare. Like if you ask me about hey, recall a nightmare you had, like I can't.
Yeah.
But like I don't know if maybe it's cuz I just kind of had this dream even though it was last week.
Are you over it yet or
No, I remember
No?
it clear as day. I can describe every detail of it,
Yeah.
which is crazy because if you ask me about a nightmare, I couldn't do the same.
I think I'm the opposite way. I mean, like a good dream that I wake up from upset that didn't happen. Like I might carry it for 2 days or so until I eventually drop it, I guess. But nightmares, because I mean the nightmares I do have, they're kind of reoccurring.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for me to forget it, especially since these are like nightmares that I've had since I was maybe, I don't know, probably for like 2 years. So it's, I don't know, it's hard for me to forget the nightmares.
Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
I don't think I would know. I don't know.
There was like a week where I had sleep paralysis like 2 or 3 times.
How do you know you have sleep paralysis? I
You
mean, I
just-
know the whole phenomenon, but how do you recall it?
I don't know. I don't know if you can describe it as sleep paralysis or if it's something else or maybe if it was just a bad nightmare. But I felt like it was sleep paralysis because I felt like I was present
Yeah.
but also still dreaming at the same time. So let me just like describe it to you a little bit, like
Isn't
the
that-
dream and stuff.
Isn't that like lucid dreaming?
Maybe
Where you're kind of half awake and half asleep?
it's possible, but I thought lucid dreaming was more you have control of the dream because I didn't have any control. I felt
Oh,
like I
okay.
had no control.
I don't know. My perception of sleep paralysis is like you're, at least in like informative video essays I've seen.
Yeah.
It's where you're kind of in bed and you're awake, your eyes are open, but you can't move. So you're like trying anything to like wiggle your toe or
Yeah.
stuff. Some people say they like see a demon sitting on their chest or something.
That
like
terrifies me. Like the idea of that.
yeah, the idea of it terrifies me, but I mean, I've had like a psychology class and the professor called it out as like total bullcrap.
Like it's not there.
Yeah, like I don't know.
It's all in your head.
It's one of those like collective things where like once you hear a lot of people feel it too.
Yeah.
Or like say they've seen that a lot of people believe they did.
Let me describe the thing though a little bit that I went through. It was like
Yeah.
I can't remember it as in detail, but this was probably a couple months ago. It was like no, actually it was last semester. I was just like super stressed because like it was finals, and then work was getting super stressful because like we had people coming in that were like the higher ups.
Yeah.
Point was I was in a very like stressful mindset, if you will.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
But like this dream was really weird because it was class. Like I was taking bio. It was like I was in my bio class, but it was a different professor.
That's stressful enough, bio.
It was a different professor, and it was like I was taking it at home, but everybody in my class
Was in your home?
was in my home.
That's weird.
And so we were watching like this movie because I don't know, we were watching a movie instead of like actually learning. But like I remember I ended up laying down and I was trying to take a nap, and I was like trying to take a nap in my dream. So everything was dark, but you know like when you have the TV on while you're
Yeah.
trying to sleep, like you have kind of like that like you can still see the light when you close your eyes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what was happening. And I heard like this lady speaking to me.
Was
and
it your bio teacher?
I think it might have been the bio
Yeah.
teacher. But like my bio teacher was a dude.
Oh.
So my actual bio teacher was a dude. So anyways,
Mysterious dream woman.
she was telling me like she was trying to tell me to wake up.
Yeah.
And that kind of started to freak me out because
That sounds scary. Just somebody, like you're asleep, you just hear wake up.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so quote unquote woke up, but I still could tell I was dreaming.
I get that. I've had that. That mostly happens to me when I'm taking a nap, where it's kind of half asleep, half awake, but you're also in a dream at the same time. So it just nothing adds up.
And then once I actually like woke up, or not, well, when I going back to what I was saying, when I like quote unquote woke up,
Yeah.
You know, like horror movies and stuff. Like I was on my mat. I was sleeping normally, right? Where I normally sleep.
Sure, yeah.
Not in the classroom.
Okay.
You know, in like horror movies and stuff where they're trying to build like anticipation and anxiety, and you just get that just kind of like rising level of anxiety.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting, but it felt very real. Like it felt like I was having an actual panic attack, and I couldn't move throughout this entire segment, if you will, of the dream. I couldn't move. My eyes are closed, and I couldn't open my eyes, and it felt like there was something just in my face, but I couldn't see it.
See, at that point, that sounds like sleep paralysis, where you're like conscious, but you're asleep, but you can't move. And you were trying to move, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt like I might have been able to open my eyes, but I didn't want to open my eyes because I was scared of something being there.
Yeah.
And so like it was just like the anxiety level just kept rising and rising and rising and rising, and then just cut out. And I was like, I'm gonna die. Something's gonna kill me. I'm gonna open my eyes. There's gonna be something right there. And eventually I did open my eyes, and I just like
We're just in your room.
Was in a panic state for like the next half hour.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what was happening. But like, I don't know, it was super weird.
The weirdest part about that is that like when you tell it to me, I mean, I'm sure you were scared, like super scared. But if you were to tell that story to someone, there shouldn't be anything scary about it.
Yeah.
Like you were just in class, but there's this just impending sense of doom on you that was, I don't know, telling you that you're gonna die.
But no, like you said, there wasn't anything there to actually be scared of, but it was just like I had the feeling of I need to be scared. Like there's something that's going to happen. But I mean, going back to what we were saying about how you can remember things, like I can remember better, like good dreams better.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into detail about it because it wasn't anything graphic, anything like obscene that I can't talk about. But it was just, I don't know, the way I felt, it was just very personal to me. And I can remember that like clearer than I can remember recalling the sleep paralysis that I had.
Yeah.
Because that's a little bit more vague. I just remember the feelings I had. But with the good dream, I remember everything about it.
And now...
In healthcare, misinformation can be as deadly as the most serious disease, and spread just as quickly. For years now, myths about childhood immunizations have been spreading on the internet and social media. The physicians of the Illinois State Medical Society urge parents to know the facts and get your child immunized. Immunizations are scientifically proven to be safe and effective, and failure to immunize can harm your children and others. Talk to your child's doctor to get the facts about immunizations.
Nicotine. It's getting out of hand. 480,000 people die from nicotine a year in the United States. That's an average 1,300 deaths a day. It's a widespread issue that we need to get away from. Stay away from nicotine.
When you drink and drive, it affects everyone. Brought to you by MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
If you enjoy music, the Stockton Chorale is hosting a concert called Choral Masterworks, Something Old and Something New, directed and conducted by Dr. Bruce Souther. There are 2 days for this concert, which are Friday, March 6th at 7 p.m. at the University of the Pacific's Fay Spanos Concert Hall, and Sunday, March 8th at 3:30 p.m. at the Episcopal Church of St. John the Baptist in Lodi. For more information, you can visit their website, www.stocktonchorale.org.
Struggling with mental health? Do you feel inadequate of experiencing a fulfilling and balanced life? SeizeTheAwkward.org offers a relay of resources for you or any individual enduring emotional pain. Your mental health is a priority. for yourself and for the world. To learn more, visit seizetheawkward.org. PSA brought to you by the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention and the Ad Council.
And we're back from our PSA break. So just a fair warning, we wanted to give everyone a heads up before we get into this next topic that we will be talking about something that has to do with murder, violation, abuse, and suicide. So just a heads up.
Just a quick trigger warning in case. But no, I want to talk about this nightmare that I have. It's a constant reoccurring nightmare too. And I think it's kind of significant just because this always happens. Like, I mean, it doesn't... I maybe had it maybe 3 times, which I think that's reoccurring enough for it to be this exact same dream. But yeah, I have it all written out right here.
I'd say a dream occurring more than once is enough.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Because how often do you have the same dream?
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, yeah. Anyways, this is the nightmare that I've had about 3 times now. So I start, and I find myself in a mansion. But, I mean, maybe it's just a big house. I'm not really sure. To me, it's a mansion. But already I'm succumbing to fear. The house is covered in taxidermy.
What is that?
It's, where hunters, they, put their animals up on the wall. Their trophies, I guess. But, yeah, that's, one of my biggest and irrational fear. Believe it or not, I've looked it up on the internet. There's a lot of people with that same fear of taxidermy. I can't explain it either. It's super irrational. I mean, it's not gonna kill me. It's weird because I think I'd rather.
Do you just see it and you freak out, or?
Yeah, I have a panic attack at that moment. I could stand up against a bison maybe, like in a live bison. But as soon as it's on a plaque in a restaurant or something, I'm
it just bothers you.
Yeah, it bothers me. It's I feel like fainting at that point.
Okay.
But this mansion, it's covered in taxidermy. And there's no exit. I'm stuck here. And the heads of wild boars, buffalo, and just animals from all over the world, they don't make my stay in that mansion any more comforting. To top off this nightmare, I too am being hunted. And I don't know by who, but there's bullets coming at me. And I'm trying to get away. And this doesn't happen forever because I'm eventually shot in the knee.
Okay.
And this handicaps me, and I can no longer run at that point. And then the person who's hunting me reveals herself, and it's a person I used to know. I'm not gonna say their name, obviously. But where was I? Anyways, I'm in my final moments, and this person pulls a blade out on me. And I don't know, for some reason, I'm more scared of dying to a knife than a bullet.
Yeah, because that's painful. That's super painful.
Yeah. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was I don't know, less rational or whatever. And she has me at knife point. I can't move or anything. And so she tells me this tragic life story that she's just gone through her entire life. And this tragic life story is not the same as her real life counterpart. At this point, this is fully just a nightmare. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So she's starting off with, she was born the same year as I, and from there a promising life began. By 4, her parents had 3 reasons to stay together. One reason for each offspring. I'm already shaking just because this dream, I don't know, not even a dream, nightmare. By 6, her parents had no reasons to stay together. By 7, her mother painted the asphalt red. By 8, she lived with an old man.
Wait, really quick. She's saying this, or is this kind of what you gathered?
This is what I gathered.
Okay.
Yeah. By 7, her mother painted the asphalt red. By 8, she lived with an old man. By 9, he made her bleed. By 11, nothing changed, and this led to her existential 21st century breakdown.
Oh, God.
By 13, she tried taking her own life. She didn't win. By 15, her life changed when she met a rational man. She could almost see her scars clearing up when he entered her life. By 16, he too was gone. From this point in her life, she froze. She was incapable of human emotion. The only thing that separated her from a reptile was her skin, but now even that began to look somewhat reptilian. This reptile phase of her life continued until about 18. There was another rational man that entered her life. The sky was as clear as her skin was clear, until he revealed himself to be no better than the old man she lived with, who constantly made her bleed. Constant nights of violation and abuse was to be her life from there on, until within her, an addiction to blood manifested. This led her to escaping the life. This led her to escaping the life constant misfortune led her to, and instead brought her to this horror of a mansion. I was held at knife point apparently, because to her I kind of looked like the first rational man that entered her life. And I'm not really sure if she like killed me in the end of the dream, but
that last bit got me.
That I looked like the
Yeah,
she explained that to me. That she says she's trying to get me, which I'm not sure if that, because I don't recall dying in the dream, but I don't recall living either.
Mm-hmm.
And
where did it end? How did it end?
It blinks out right there.
You just kind of woke up or wake up?
Yeah. At that point, I'm able to like wake myself up.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
I constantly had that dream, and like the only part I could explain is the taxidermy.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I know I'm scared of that, so I know this nightmare is gonna plot against me in that way. But I'm not sure. The rest of it's just, I don't know, it's tragic.
Is there anyone in your life that maybe had like a somewhat of a story like that, or has gone through something like that? Because
that's where I'm confused. Who is this girl? Because I'm of course not gonna say people's names. But
the original person is.
Yeah, I mean, she looks like this person that I was once acquainted with. But the story she's telling me is more like somebody that's very close to me. That I'm not going to say her name at all. But I mean, if you're curious after that, I'll tell you. But it's like she looks like this one girl that I used to know.
Mm-hmm.
But her story is more relevant to this other person I know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of it's obviously made up in the dream.
Yeah. But
a lot of it kind of aligns to that one person I'm thinking about.
I wonder if maybe that second person you're thinking about, like I'm kind of just thinking about this right now. I wonder if the reason why it starts with the taxidermy is because it wants whatever your self-conscious is like saying, is it wants you to be at a level of fear that you understand. That you're uncomfortable with.
The taxidermy part is like the only part I'm really scared of.
Yeah.
The rest is just sad.
But I think maybe there's like that second person, maybe you, I don't know, neglected them, or you didn't really get a full understanding or something. And so maybe you're trying to like tell yourself like, hey, this is what this person has gone through.
Yeah.
This is the fear that they had to face.
This is therapy because this is actually making sense.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, ugh. Yeah.
Does that make sense? I think it's maybe a way of like...
No, that actually hit me.
Yeah. Like you trying to tell yourself or trying to get a grasp of the other person's story with something that's familiar both in the fear and as a face of someone you used to be close with.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
That's, hitting me, bruh. Like, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot from that. Unknown Space has been a production of KWDC 93.5 LPFM Delta College Radio.
Unknown Space Radio.
This program is made possible by listeners like you. Programming is produced by the students, staff, and the faculty of San Joaquin Delta College's Radio Television Department.
Unknown Space Radio. Unknown Space Radio.
It is supported by the Delta College Department of Arts, Humanities, and Multimedia, the Career Technical Education and Workforce Development Office, and the State of California. Thank you for listening.
My name is Alex.
Space Radio.
My name is Thomas Uganda. And you are now leaving unknown space.
Unknown space radio.